That's the best introduction ever. We need that every single week. I don't even need to say welcome to 1 Million Cups. Welcome to 1 Million Cups. This is the best day ever. For anybody here not been here before? Fantastic. We do that every week. So, no, that was a special treat. Welcome to you who's not been here before. I'm just kind of speechless. I'll pull it together. I'm working on it. What is 1 Million Cups? Well, it's opera practice and it's startups. And today, now that we're done with the opera practice, we're going to bring on the first of our 2 startups. They same format. We always give them 6 minutes to talk about themselves and then 20 minutes of Q&A. So to start off today, we are going to have the Kansas City Shock with Sean. So for those of you who have not been here, again, we'll just start with a short presentation from them and then launch into questions and answers. So, Sean from Kansas City Shock. Man, I'm just quitting.
That's the awkward part about being tall. I can't stand in front of the projectors. All right, good morning. Man, holy cow, it feels like all of Kansas City in one building, and Arkansas. Thanks for being here, guys. My name is Sean Doherty. For all today's purposes, I am the Chief Executive Officer of the Kansas City Shock. The formalities really don't do anything, but the name sounds really cool. Kansas City Shock, in its most literal form, is an upstart business within the confines of the Great Plains region of the United States. It is created by a group of individuals who range from landscapers to PE teachers to engineers to baristas to, yes, even a sandwich maker. The ability to put everyone on an equal playing field and utilize individual strengths for the overall goal is vital towards our success. We are a living incubator. We launched from social media. We believe that everyone should be able to sit back and enjoy 2 hours of their life each weekend in the sun. People from throughout Kansas City, from every walk of life, should be entitled to that much. And on top of that, we're a women's soccer team. The original idea of the Kansas City Shock stemmed from an ongoing problem within the women's soccer entertainment market. Struggles from recognition within the athletic-driven Gatorade drowning society, and there were 2 key issues for this: overspending and undermarketing. What is the solution to this, especially if your resources, aka capital, is non-existent? Well, I cling to the idea of what big Kansas City guest speaker Amy Jo Martin said in her book, Renegades Write the Rules. It's all right to color outside the lines without crossing the lines. In order to reach your audience, you need to meet them at their level and their desires, not necessarily your own. Now, for us to succeed on the field, we also have to be able to demonstrate the desire to be successful off the field. We believe in a business world that there are 3 key bridges connecting the business to the community: social media, a moral compass, and availability. Now, our story started rather uniquely. Our program was founded via social media. This tweet, posted by myself on a very lonely night, December 22nd, 2011, set the tone, at least in the soccer aspect. The lovely woman came a few months later. Because we had limited or at least no funds in the beginning, we started the most creative way we could think of: free social media marketing. Our initial growth and capital are streamed from the existence of Twitter and Facebook. We were on social media before we had a coach, a player, a home field, or even a league that we belonged to. Now, I do have a question for you. If you love to be knee-deep in the political world of deciphering right and wrong, please raise your hand. Exactly. Okay, good. The business world can interbreed with politics very quickly. Many times we find that through secrecy, and especially in the public entertainment business, that the public and investors can quickly be turned off to what's going on behind closed doors. We wanted to rewrite that rule, so we took a couple risks. Our budget for the 2013 season, it's available to the public. If you want to see it, just ask me. We'll talk later. I'll show you the numbers. For businesses that choose to invest with us, they have access to a monthly budget report. If a business is willing to invest in the opportunity of our program, they have every right to know where their money is being used and how their money is being used. I think that it's time that the customer, or in this case the fan, starts to be able to actually feel comfortable trusting a business again. Now, last summer, I learned the different terms of soccer, football, while I was in Guatemala, Santa Cruz del Quiche actually. I was running soccer clinics, which really meant I was playing soccer 24/7. We had no grass, the fields were made of dirt, there were no nets on the goals, but we played anyways. It was soccer at its most natural state. It's been said countless times that soccer is the international language. Every country has their loyalty and everyone is a fan. It was during that time that a young man named Marco came up to me and said, "Do you know what's wrong with soccer in the United States?" Bold accusation from an individual from Guatemala, but I went ahead and took the bait and said, "What is wrong?" And he said, "You made it a rich white man's game." Without saying anything, I'm just going to ask this next question. Are there any takers that know off the top of their head the price that it took to construct the publicly funded, state-of-the-art Overland Park soccer complex? I have the number here. It's safe. No. Close, though. $36 million. As a reminder, we played on dirt. So while I don't intend to necessarily take aim at Overland Park Soccer Complex specifically, the reality did become clear that our program needed to be invested to the availability of all people. That's partly why our season tickets are priced where they are. So anyone can afford it and everyone can be a part of the program. Additionally, we're already represented by at least 5 different countries and 3 different languages. We're getting ready to launch El Kansas City Shock on Twitter as a mirror account in Spanish for all things that we post on Twitter. Why? Because the people of Kansas City deserve the respect of their unique diversity. Our belief is simply this: we're not a program that is in Kansas City, we're a program that is of Kansas City. Now, each one of these programs listed, we have indirectly or directly assisted in setting up their businesses. In fact, some of them are actually here today. Thank you for showing up. We appreciate it. This is my free marketing gift to you. Some range from athletic wear to digital design to, yes, actually, barbecue sauce. In fact, the utilization of other programs can trickle all the way into how we make products available to the public. Now, because I think 1 million cups is the proper place to announce big happenings, though we just talked about how programs are starting to do that anyways, the next phase that isn't posted here except for where you see Dwolla. Some of you know who Dwolla is. Who knows Dwolla? Yeah, 1 million cups people know who Dwolla is. I am happy to announce that we are going to be the first sports program in the history of Dwolla's existence to actually do all of our ticket sales, merchandise, and POS systems of game day experiences through Dwolla through a 3-phase setup that we've worked out with the company. So nothing's available yet, so don't go drooling and hack it on your phones or whatever, but know that that is our next step because Dwolla, honestly, is flippin' sweet, and if anyone wants to know more about that, ask somebody who raised their hand because it is brilliant. Now, this leads us to the master question at 1 million cups. What can you do for us? And simply, we have some pretty easy solutions. First of all, plug in. Find us on social media. I mean, I'm watching on my tablet as the tweets come pouring in, so I know you're finding us already. Find us on Twitter, Facebook, Google+, YouTube, Clout, LinkedIn, Instagram, Pinterest, whatever the next big thing is. Oh, Vine. I'm sure Vine will get used later this year too. But we want to connect with you because if you connect with us, we connect with you, we build a better community. Obviously, where the money's at, the season ticket holders, yes, $50 is season tickets. And yes, they went on sale about an hour ago. And it's for 5 home games for them or regional teams within our conference, league structure, whatever, and then another exhibition game and a top secret game that we can't announce anything yet because it's really cool but really secret at the moment. Also, we're offering OOA packages, out of area packages. Those are for the individuals who don't live in Kansas City, the people who aren't going to fly to Kansas City to watch our games. We're going to ship them season tickets. We're going to say, here, have some pretty tickets. But realistically, what we're sending them is care packages. We're sending them t-shirts, scarves, replica jerseys, bracelets, necklaces, bumper stickers, whatever you can think of, because we want to make sure the people in New York, in Reno, in Adelaide, Australia, and Scotland all feel like they're just as much a part of this program as our season ticket holders that are in-house as well. And finally, business partnerships. We do have marketing packages ranging from $100 to $20,000. We did this on purpose so that every business, regardless of size, has a marketing opportunity to work with us. So if you're an upstart business and you're curious about how to get involved or how to do a little marketing on your own, this could be where you get your feet wet. Now, finally, in conclusion, we are a lot of things, as that slide showed. We're new, we're creative, we're slightly strange, and at times we're kind of frightening. However, for all things that we are, most importantly, we dream of emphasizing this, that we are Kansas City. Any questions?
Thank you. Thank you very much, Sean. All right, we've got a microphone there in the middle if you want to make your way over to that for questions, or if you can't, just raise a hand. And Sean, if we could ask you to repeat them so the folks watching on live stream can hear what the questions are.
Question.
Where are your home games?
Our home games. That is the number one question we anticipated and the number one question I dreaded. Technically, right now, I can't formally announce the home field because we did have, we have a contract on table. There's some adjustments that are being made in it. Sadly, I can't give you the name, but it's not like I could tell you that our field was at Parallel Parkway and College Boulevard in Kansas City, Kansas. I can't tell you that kind of information, okay? Monday, we will be releasing that information finalized. I can give you this. As long as everything moves very, very smoothly, it's going to be very, very close to Sporting Park, actually, that we weren't necessarily anticipating, but we'll take it. So that's the best answer I can give you. That's the honest answer, and I wish I could just say, it's this field, okay? Be nice, behave, and don't eat me. But that's the best answer I can give you at the moment. Yo!
Can you tell us a little bit about where you're recruiting your players and how you're finding them and what that arrangement looks like?
The coolest thing about the players is we didn't have to. They came to us. Originally, we said when we looked at player recruiting, our original thought was we want to recruit the talent out of Kansas City because anybody who does do something in the soccer community of Kansas City can tell you there is a lot of talent in this city, and a lot of them are overlooked frequently. So we started with the area colleges. We actually created a master list of communication with every high school women's soccer program in Missouri and Kansas. Also every high school or every college coach from NAIA, Division II, Division I, and community colleges in Missouri and Kansas as well. That was a starter because we can't allow college players on our roster. But more importantly, we held tryouts through social media. We just blasted our tryouts in December and March. In December it snowed, in March it rained. But we had amazing turnouts. And so a good core are coming right here out of Kansas City because they want to play the game. On the flip side of that, though, people catch wind of women's soccer, creating and establishing a new marketing concept, something that could be seen as sustainable, and players will come out of the woodwork. That's actually how we end up landing one of our players who plays professional in Adelaide, Australia. She's on our roster. A girl who played in Kansas City, originally from Scotland. She's on our roster also. So she's from Scotland. We got 2 girls from Jamaica. We got a girl from Mexico, and then a bunch of Kansas City people, Wichita. I mean, they come every which way, and they usually come to us first without us having to go out. That's how desperate people are to be able to further their experience with the game after college. Oh, I see a hand.
What are the biggest challenges that you've come up against? Obviously, it's a huge undertaking to launch a team like this, but what are the biggest challenges that you face?
The biggest challenge was originally getting off the ground. Through social media, that wasn't too much of that was a no-brainer for us, but finding the capital to follow up with that was a challenge. We had to pay league fees into the league that we're a part of, and it was like $2,500, I think, yeah, $2,500 last year. And I could have paid it out of pocket. I really would have rather not. I get it, that's a startup, but we want to do something a little different. So we actually ran these 20 tickets for $125 a piece on Twitter March of last year. Yeah, March of last year, and they're called lifetime tickets. And anybody who bought that ticket was allowed into our games this year, next year, 2015, 2029, et cetera, because if they put that much faith into our program, they should be rewarded greatly, because when they bought those tickets, there wasn't even a logo yet. And we sold all 20 of them in less than 24 hours. So some of our hurdles get taken care of really quick. I'll say personally, the biggest struggle that we've worked on is actually the politics. Turns out in the soccer community or the business community, as I'm sure many of you can relate to, there's a lot of politics. Coming in as a startup women's soccer program is one thing. Coming in as a women's startup program and then 10 months later being told there's going to be another professional women's soccer team in the same city that you're trying to build a market in, that's a hurdle. But we take it and we run with it because we tell ourselves that we're different. We're more than 11 players on the field. We're driven by the community and what the community wants. And so far, that in itself has turned out to be probably the biggest way to overcome our hurdles is putting our selfish wants aside and focusing on what you guys want as a fan experience. Yep.
Can you tell us, since you're driven by the community, kind of what your plans are to better the community? Are you going to do a girls league, girls camps? What is your community focus?
You're rocking it. You're rocking it right there.
Do you need players? I did play soccer in college, so I'm available after July.
Okay, that's what I was looking for. We can work on training.
My fitness level will be really high.
Good. Things that we've done with the community. Now, of course, as a startup, we start small, we build up. I will say a few of the bigger things we've accomplished currently. Obviously, we have a cool little partnership with Harvesters inside Kansas City, so we'll be doing food drives and all that fun stuff with our fun little partners at Freebirds Burrito Restaurant. Yeah, Freebirds for the win, guys. This is a non-Chipotle area. But Harvesters was probably the first one that we really kicked off with. We're also directly connected to the U.S. Deaf Soccer Association, which is two national deaf soccer teams that are not funded by U.S. Soccer. We're working with them as they prepare for their Olympics this year, the Deaf Olympics in Bulgaria. And then most importantly, along the lines of camps and women's sports and movements along those lines, a few weeks ago we announced our first big partnership with Win for Kansas City, which is the Women's Intersport Network. And we will be, from what I understand, hosting a clinic this summer with Win for KC on their soccer side. And we're also exploring new options. You know, there are high schools that contact us. Yo, what's up? There are high schools that contact us and ask, can you come out to here? We're doing a benefit game for a cancer survivor. Can you come here? We're open for everything. And there's a lot of people who need a lot of help. I think the challenge usually is going up to someone and saying, how can we assist? Without being overbearing of saying, you need help, because that's not our job. Our job is to be available. In fact, today ended our soccer cleat drive. We had a high school in Kansas City. Their head coach comes up and says, our players can't afford cleats. And that is a true story. All right, we had a team in Kansas City that could not afford cleats to wear on the field. They wore Converse All-Stars. Yeah, exactly. This is not basketball. Because of that, though, you know, we took straight to social media. We were not prompted on that. We were not told, hey, Kansas City Shock, can you help us? I was invited to the event on Facebook, and I contacted the person who invited me and said, can I get our program behind it? They gave us the green light, and guess what? All those high schools and colleges we have contacts with, messages all out to them. The 800 plus followers we have on Twitter, out to them. The 800 plus followers on Facebook, out to them. And then you watch the retweets and the shares pick up, and you realize, oh my gosh, it just went everywhere. So whatever we can do and whenever we can do it, we want to do it. We have bigger ideas, but what we've been given right now is a great starting point, I believe. Yes?
What do you envision your team payroll would be first, second?
That's awesome, because since we have college players on our roster, the NCAA says we can't pay our players. That's a good way to start a startup business. You know, all of our players came in knowing that we could not pay. Now, I personally made the choice to side with our colleges in Kansas City and the surrounding areas to work with their players. I could have chosen not to and to be a full-tier professional team and worry about the salaries. Two reasons I didn't. The obvious was why everyone's laughing. The second reason was I think that our colleges in the area need to have someone to work with as well for their players during off seasons. So because of that, I don't have to worry about payroll for the first, second year. Now, along those lines, I say that for these couple years. Our 5-10 year plan does have it to where we will end up splitting into two programs, a U23 section, so for the college player, and then an actual professional team. At that point, that's when we go into searching, saying, okay, how are we going to pull the salaries and the paperwork? Because I think really that's one of the biggest hurdles, period, to figure out. And thankfully, I think we have a couple years to work on that before we're ready to dive knee deep into it.
is this your full-time job right now? And if not, what else are you working on? And are you, how did you get to this? Obviously, I heard how it happened, but tell me what you've been doing up until starting.
Slide 2 on the PowerPoint presentation gave a list of different people involved in our programs: PE teachers, engineers, landscapers, baristas, and a sandwich maker. I'm not a teacher, and I'm definitely not an engineer. I make sandwiches for Subway. That's what I do. Actually, I work for the corporate office of Subway now, so if you've at a Subway here in Kansas City, I've had a direct connection to that. If it was a bad experience, I did not work on that store that month. That was, I mean, I'm going to be completely and brutally honest with you. Originally, this idea was supposed to take shape in Springfield, Missouri. I was living in Springfield at the time, just graduated from college, trying to become a teacher. Woo, yay, teaching salaries. And it didn't happen. And before I knew it, it was July of 2011, and I'm sitting in the back of my truck, and I'm homeless, and I have no idea what's going on. I'm like, how did I get to this? And the only thing I had was Subway, and that sounds really bizarre, and this is not a plug for Subway, but that was literally it. And I told my boss about it, and she said, wow, that's really rough. I said, yes, it is. And she said, would you like to advance in the program? I've been with Subway since 2004, so I've been in it for a while. And I said, sure, why not? She kicked me up to Northwest Missouri, which is where I happen to be from anyways. And I was able to make up all my bills, get back on my feet. My parents took care of me, even though they didn't have to. Everything kind of worked itself out, and then I sat down one day and said, man, I've got a lot of free time with this job. I had a lot of days where I'm not doing a whole lot. And I was invited to do a write-up article for the USA-Canada women's soccer match at Sporting Park in 2011 in September. And while I was there, I watched 17,000 people scream their heads off for these two women's teams. And they were not Sporting fans, okay? I mean, Sporting fans are a whole different breed of character. These are people focused on women's soccer. And I saw that there's 17,000 people in the stadium cheering for this. There has to be a market in Kansas City for it. And that's where it really started. And it started quite literally in December with that tweet saying, all right, had a dream about it. What do you guys think about it? And then the feedback was so positive. I said, well, what else am I going to do? So that's kind of how I got started.
Last couple of questions. Oh, come on. Somebody step up.
Yeah.
Who are you playing?
Who are we playing? Our league, we're in the Women's Premier Soccer League. We comprise of over 70 teams. We are the largest league in the world. Because of that, our league is broken into regional divisions. So for this year, it turns out, we'll be playing Des Moines, Quad Cities, and 2 teams in St. Louis are our regional teams, the conference teams or whatever. Incredibly, they're all new programs as well. So it's literally an entirely new region. We plan on stomping all of them gracefully. But as long as, there's no ego in this, I promise. But as long as we do follow through and do well, the playoffs are, the winner of that region, playoffs will be hosted at their home field, so we'll get another shot at hosting playoffs as well. Actually, the U.S. Open Cup was a men's tournament last year that Sporting Kansas City won. Yeah, it was really cool. It hailed on us. It was awesome. There's actually a women's U.S. Open Cup now as well. And it's actually hosted at Overland Park this year, and we are one of the teams that's in that tournament also. So that's some more games. Finally, exhibition matches. We're just contacting teams left and right to say, hey, can you guys pick up an extra game? We'll travel. We'll go to Houston. We'll go to Austin. We'll go to Tulsa and Oklahoma City. It's just making sure everyone can balance their schedules out. But for this year, there's 4 teams out in cornfields that we have to deal with. And then after that, we're just going to continue to try to expand. In fact, I talk about us being a living incubator sometimes, and I showed those businesses. There's actually coaches and ownership groups that we're also talking to in other cities in the Great Plains that are curious about building a soccer program within our league, because the startup honestly is kind of cheap versus what it could be. And so we're also spending time working with them, also noting their community, their area blueprints, and helping them kickstart their own women's soccer team also.
Also, you said there's 70 teams and these are all the startups. Of those other established teams, do they represent a model for you in any way? Clearly, social media is probably more unique than what they did, but is there sort of a best practices from some of those existing teams that might help you?
No. To put it this way, I said we're on Google+. We're the first women's soccer team in the United States ever to get on Google+. That's how far behind a lot of programs are. So we honestly are we're going as we see it. And the other thing is we don't do cookie cutters. I watch a lot of programs that are based off club models, that are based off this model and that model. When you make a model, that means you're going to repeat it. In Kansas City, in this community, you can't make a model. You have to be able to recognize your environment, its unique structure to who it is and what we want to be, and invest in that. I could be just a regular soccer team with 11 players on the field, but guess what? Kansas City is about startup communities, and it's about technology, and it's about growth and revitalization. And my life has been revitalized, and we're an upstart community, and we love technology. Shout out to Dwolla on there. And we want to do everything we can to continue to integrate into being part of Kansas City. Yes?
Endorsements?
Endorsements? Like contractual endorsements for players?
Are you looking in that area?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, yes and no. Again, NCAA players, I can't mess with that because they'll mess with the eligibility. But the players who aren't in the NCAA that are post-college, oh, you better believe we're having a fun time with that. One of the programs that we'll be using, goalies, if you know anything about goalkeepers, like wide receivers, they have to use gloves. Well, they want to use gloves, and they're giant, weird-looking gloves. Turns out some of the best gloves used in Major League Soccer by one of the best keepers in Major League Soccer are actually made here in Kansas City. It's called Proberia, and it is an awesome glove. I messed with the latex on it themselves. I mean, really cool. He is a startup business as well. Well, he got the keeper of Sporting Kansas City to use his gloves, and the backup keeper decided to use them as well. And about that time, we were starting our summer tournament last year, and I came up to him and said, hey, what about writing me a $200 check? We're gonna throw some marketing your way. He was game for it. He's from Greece. He played pro in Greece. He loves soccer, and it is translated all the way till now that all of our keepers this season will be using Proberia gloves based here in Kansas City. So that's one endorsement. The standard endorsements, the Adidas, Nike, Puma, all that kind of stuff. It's in the works. I try to keep it quiet because our director of merchandise will shoot me if I say anything. But we are working on different angles, literally on a continual basis.
You just mentioned the director of merchandise. Who else is on your team?
How many people do we have? 9? 7? I have no idea. I can tell you that we have myself. I am not the coach. My family's a bunch of coaches. That gift was not given to me, so I do not coach. Chief Executive Officer, Director of Operations, whatever you want to term it as, legal representation of the actual LLC. We have a general manager. We have a director of merchandise, we have a CFO, we have a director of media. All 5 of those positions, there's no checks being cut to anybody. We're all doing this on a volunteer basis. Then we do have a head coach and assistant coach. Those are the 2 positions that I would not waver on. I said they will be paid no matter what. Then we also have a player resource manager. That's actually this one here. Her name's Darcy. She is a unique entity that we created just for the fact that we have players coming in from around the world, literally. They need housing. They need jobs. They need ways to make sure that they're comfortable while they're here because we're going to be sending them through the grinder on a daily basis. Her job basically is to make sure all of our players are taken care of. Yeah. The players love Darcy. I think that's it, though. I think that's our whole staff.
All right, Sean, last question. Where can we buy tickets?
Online.
All
Literally,
right.
kansascityshock.com. You can go to the ticket section. I mean, you literally can just go access that right now. Just, pull up.
You're going to have like a bag full of tickets here?
Bag full of I don't have any tickets on. We like digital tickets because they're easy to mess with, and I don't have to go through the printing process. So right now, it is kansascityshock.com. It's on the front page. You can also click on tickets and pay, so you can find tickets on there too. But that's where we're starting. And literally those tickets were released, like I said, an hour and a half ago. So they're up for the masses. Have at them, guys, please.
Thank you, Sean. Kansas City Shock. Excellent stuff. All right, before we get to announcements, because I have no idea what those are, let's see. We've got some out-of-town guests in the house. U.S. SourceLink. Is that right? Who here? Welcome. Wow, that's a big bunch. Well, welcome to Kansas City. Welcome 1 million Cubs.
All right, so a couple other things real quick. Awesome, we're at capacity, which means we have 200 people in this room, and then more people in the overflow room. So another awesome week. You guys showed up, which we're really excited. One quick announcement for 1 Million Cups. Next week is going to be a big week. We're really excited. We might go a little bit long next week, so put on your calendars that you're going to be here a little past 10. because next week is our 1 year anniversary, which we can't believe it's been 1 year. It's so cool. So we have a special treat for you. It's going to be a little bit different format. Instead of having 2 presentations, we're going to have a bunch of people coming back to tell where they've come since presenting at 1 Million Cups. We'll have a video of what's been going on. There's a bunch of special things that we're going to have going on next week. So be sure to come, tell everybody you know about it. Anybody that hasn't been in a while, tell them to come back because they're going to get an update of how things are going. So a few announcements. I'm going to hand it over to Nathan real quick.
I'm Nathan Kurtz with KC Roundtable. We are putting on Just for Starters on April 23rd at the Boulevard Brewing Company. Just for Starters is an event. We've got a panel of judges, of experts, entrepreneurs that have sold companies, bankers, just other awesome, great people. Come, bring your ideas, bounce your questions off of them. Come listen to what other people are doing as well. We were going to charge $10 for admission. It's now free, but we'll have snacks, we'll have beer on tap. But you have to register online because it's limited capacity. So Just for Starters, it's kcroundtable.com. Again, kcroundtable.com. Register. We'll see you guys April 23rd at Boulevard.
And then Rigo's going to do a startup weekend.
Hey, my name is Rigo. I'm with Startup Weekend. Tina's out there, but she's also with Startup Weekend. We want to make an announcement that we have an event coming up 2 weekends from, or not this weekend, the next weekend, April 12th. We're inviting everyone to come. If you don't know what Startup Weekend is, it's a 54-hour event over the course of a weekend where you meet designers, developers, marketers, project managers, you form a team, work on a startup, and hopefully launch a startup over the course of the weekend. It's actually serious. One company from 2 startup weekends ago just raised some $1 billion about a month ago. So if you're welcome to come. We still have tickets available. Just go to kansascity.startupweekend.org. That's it.
Yeah, if you guys haven't done a startup weekend, you really should go to one. That's actually the first event that I participated in, 5-6 years ago now. And it's just an amazing thing. It'll completely change your life. One more announcement. Andrew?
Thank you. Hi, my name's Andrew Smolik. I work with Missouri Technology Corporation. For those of you that don't know what we do, we are a public-private partnership that was created by the Missouri General Assembly to promote entrepreneurship and economic development in the state of Missouri. How we can help you and why I'm talking, we have our Tech Launch program that is currently open. We have $350,000 available in pre-seed stage funding for entrepreneurs who are looking to grow out their businesses in Missouri. So all of you Kansas City startups and entrepreneurs who are looking for funding right now, apply on MissouriTechnology.com. There's a lot more to talk about that I can't get into in 60 seconds, so come find me afterwards if you have any interest. Our applications can be found at MissouriTechnology.com. And the maximum award is $100,000. Applications are due April 16th. So that's a key date to keep in mind. And you can look us up on Twitter, and we'll have more about that date coming up in the coming days. Thanks.
All right, so announcements done. Just as a reminder, you saw Mike got up here earlier. My name's George Brooks. John, where's John at? Did John leave? Oh, everybody wave to John on the camera because they're watching us in the. So John McGovern, we're actually entrepreneurs ourselves. So this is an entrepreneur-led community, and I really want to make sure that it's clear that we're here volunteering and being excited about this community and putting in our time because we believe in what's happening here in Kansas City. Such an exciting time. Obviously, there's 200 people, 200 plus people here making it happen. So you don't want to hear me. He's already, look at him. He's already playing music. I'm so excited. So I got a chance to meet Shane, it's been like 4 months ago maybe? Yes. Yeah. And he invited me over to his studio. And one of the most creative individuals I think I have met in recent history. Yeah, let's see how big I can get his head. But one of the coolest things is just his humble heart and really excited about the projects that he's working on with Chocolate Me. I actually got a chance to get a few of his books. He is an illustrator, an author, organizer, a mover, a hustler. Just making stuff happen. And actually, I took his books back to I have 3 little girls. And I took them back to my little girls and gave them this, and they immediately said, "Can we send him a picture with our books?" So we got these little pictures of these 3 little girls, and I hope that was a blessing to him. So I want to hand it over to Shane Evans, and let's give him a warm welcome. Thank you.
time crunch is on. Yeah. Well, you know, I think that the best way for me to even move forward is to really just tell stories, because that's who I am, you know? And I think in many ways that's who we all are. So I can be like I'm an entrepreneur, but I don't even know what that really means, you know? I especially didn't know what it meant when I was a kid, right? Somebody said that when you get nervous, Matt's the dude, right? He said, well, we all should get butterflies, right, in our stomachs, but we got to get those bad boys to fly in line. I think that's really... So, yeah, you know, and then another thing I hear is that, you know, you walk in a crowd and it's like you're sharing with them, like, to visualize them naked. No. I'm not doing that, sorry. But if I can visualize you all as children, that's much better, you know? Honestly, because I can see that dude as a kid. Seriously, man, running around doing this thing. Yeah. And so that's really who we all are. That's the essence of who we are. I've been illustrating children's books for like a number of years. So I want to start just kind of blazing through some of these stories. Technology is working, hopefully. If you wouldn't mind, just if you can read that word, please. Oh, what's up? How are you? Good to see you. It's interesting how we forget that it's just something like that that can like kind of break down walls. You ever walk down the street and just see somebody, it's just you and somebody else, and you just let them pass on by? I started doing this, and it just changed everything. It's so weird. So thank you. Your heart, can everybody just put their hands right where, make sure your heart's working? All right, if somebody's not, just check with them, you know. Well, anyway, but seriously, this is a place to grow your dreams, a never-ending story. What do you want to learn today? That's the most important question you can really ask yourself. That's the essence of it. There's the sun. The sun is out. I'm happy about that. If I said that this was the year of change, you know, what have you seen? You know, January comes around, you bust into the new year. Yeah, I'm going to resolve this. Belly flab, all that other stuff. And then it just never happens. The reality is like your dream is deeper inside than just the flesh, you know? So you got to go for that space. I'm just thankful for the day. That's really what I can say.
This isn't awkward at all.
This isn't awkward at all, man. Can you imagine getting mic'd up in real life, just walking down the street? Who are we? We are the ultimate dreamers. I guarantee you somebody in this room has a dream if you're working on it, developing it. King said it best. I have a dream, man. And I was like, it's true. Like his dream is literally coming true. This room that we are in right now, I couldn't even be in it some years back. So I'm grateful for that. These simple shapes, honestly, this is what I construct my dreams with. These squares, triangles, and circles, I color them a little bit. I add a little bit of word and flavor to it, and that's how you get a children's book. Feelings like love, respect, honor. And I go to a lot of schools, you know, I'm touching base with lots of children like yourself, and like these are the things that we all need to remember. There I am, that vest. I wish I could find it, because I would rock it today, seriously. Anyway, I grew up in Buffalo, and I'm going to tell you just a little bit about who I am. That's me, the little dreamer. I went to a school for visual and performing arts. Honestly, that saved my life. I mean, I don't know what I would have done without the arts, you know? So the essence of who I am is that. It's art. Here's a friend of mine. His name is Mr. Tay Diggs. Tay is I remember in college, I asked him, I said, well, hey, what do you want to do when we finish school? He said, I want to be famous. You know that's a job, right? Because he is famous. Like, he's on television, movies, doctors on TV, you know. What? So here we are living our dreams. Syracuse University, priceless. Jumped over here to Hallmark Cards, worked there for 7 years, got quite a learning. Yeah, I learned a lot about telling stories. You know, that's the essence of it all. Pulling them together in a one-page experience, then transferred to books. Worked with Shaquille O'Neal. That was a delight. That was many years ago. Shannon Show, this book transferred herself or the characters onto the Disney Channel. Bintu's braids from traveling. All these things that, you know, inspire me in life find their way in these books. Olu's dream, this book took me 10 years to do. And really, the essence of it all is like, that's the little me. That's the little dreamer inside of me. And my family and that dynamic of culture, you know, two different people, like raising a child, getting that thing together. And then the book, there it is. You know, 10 years, struggle, getting through that space. But then I look at it like this. What am I doing in this side of this community? You know, if I'm a part of this community, if I don't inspire somebody, I'm not really doing my job. So, in essence, I open up this space, ask other dreamers to come in. People of all ages come to visit the space. I like to reach out worldwide. I like what this brother was talking about, just like going on that soccer field and those dirt fields out in Africa, like bringing out art supplies and sharing our hearts, you know. Like that's really what this is all about, this storyline. You know, giving your gifts, essentially, wherever you are. This is an example of this character, this Olu character. How can we utilize this in teaching models? Like that's what I'm going into schools and working with. Like I have a dream face. Like let's get rid of those nasty looking like mean faces and let's like have this face that talks about, you know, one person can bring about change face. And I think this really is about us. Like in essence, like if you can't see yourself in this, I'm not sure, you know, we can talk deeper. But you know, this is about us. It's Chocolate Me, and I'm going to transfer into this book. This is a book with my friend Tay Diggs. Has anybody ever felt like this? Just seriously sitting on your deck, like not feeling like you are part of anything, you know? And children are feeling that every day, man. They're getting bullied, they're getting picked at for whatever reason. Don't matter. So the essence of like the projects that I'm working on is about being aware of yourself. This tear that drops, man, it's got to be resolved by somebody, whether it's a parent, a student, you know, a parent, a teacher, you know, like whatever. We got to kind of bind ourselves back together in that love space and recognize what Chocolate Me is. It goes deeper than skin level. This is about the sweet inside. This is about reconciliation. Like, let's bring those cupcakes out and let's just have a good time, man. Let's just eat. Shoot. Vanilla chocolate, strawberry chocolate. You know, it comes in all different flavors. You know, so I think the essence of this, I'm sorry, that's Tay. The essence of this project is like, this is a true story of this young man who got like bullied a little bit, you know? How do you get past that? So like as adults, we are who we are. You know, I've been illustrating for a long time. He's been in movies, all these things. Like we're getting back to the core of this. You know, this is two friends coming together and we're going to inspire people, you know, with this idea. So, this is just a little, we're working on this. We're working on a little chocolamentary is what we call it. Took some folks a while to get that. It's like, ha, ha! No, I'm kidding. There it is right there. That's how you spell it, by the way. But you know, I guess, you know, I don't know what you see. Maybe you see the guy you love on movies, whatever, you know. That's really just a good friend of mine. We came together and we pulled this project together. We have been traveling all around. Talking about what this character can be, like, again, taking characters to utilize for inspiration. Online, that's where we live these days. It's unfortunate, but, you know, hey, you get online, you can figure out what's going on with Chocolate Me. Facebook is strong. We're continuing to partner. We're partnering with the Brother Place for the Saints. You know, just like, again, he's about reading. He's about children. That's what this is about. We want to take this to the stage. Obviously, Tay comes from the stage. So just figuring out what this can be, even sentiments, ideas. Like, how do you reach out deeper to somebody, you know, with poetry? Now we're talking about an animated series. That's what the evolution of this project will be. And, you know, that's kind of where we need really to connect with people, you know. Get your ideas, get your thoughts, like talk about your children, talk about your own child self. And in essence, you know, again, this is who we are. Vanilla chocolate, dark chocolate, milk chocolate, blueberry chocolate. I love blueberry chocolate. And seriously, like really just, I love the sweet inside. That's really what it's about. You know, that's what this whole project is about. So, I'm going to go one more slide. With these ideas of chocolate thoughts, like, what can you say to somebody nice today? Try that. Seriously, just try. Go up to somebody and say, like, let me check somebody. I like that red blouse. That's sweet. Look at her, she blushing. She blushing through the dark chocolate. That's what I'm talking about. No, but seriously, you know, that's what this is about. Like, this is a movement. This is a movement. Pick it up. If you don't like chocolate, I don't know. Something wrong with you. They come in so many flavors. So yeah, that's it. Well, I'm just gonna like run through these slides, but if there are questions, yeah, I'm here. See, now everybody got quiet. I'm gonna just turn this down. That's my little loop pedal right there, so. Check, check. Any questions, everybody? Well, I can sing if you want. When I look at this face, I see the sweet inside through my chocolate eyes, and I say, I'm chocolate me when I'm not feeling glad, 'cause I'm feeling kind of mad. And I look at this face, and I say, I'm chocolate me, vanilla chocolate, milk chocolate, dark chocolate, blueberry chocolate. I'm chocolate me. I love the sweet inside. 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 Woo!
All right. Questions. I've got one.
Yeah.
What? So you have the book. The book's out. By the way, you've got to check out the book. It's amazing. It's beautiful.
Real quick. We're gonna hand out items. If you can like sign stuff, we're gonna give away these books. I think we got a little thing. Just write your name, and then I'll pick somebody and just bam, get a book. Bam. So yes, I'm sorry, George.
Yeah, no, it's fine. The book is beautiful. What is? I mean, you got a lot of things in the works. When we sat down, you had so many ideas. Whether it was the Broadway show or the TV show. I mean, what's next? Where does the story go from here?
Well, the story goes into like other formats of storytelling, you know, because we have so many of them. Like I'm going into schools literally and speaking to like thousands of children a month, you know, and so like I don't know if there's something missing or what, but like it's really just putting out the good stories, you know. So animation, app development, we talked about that. Online, you know, storytelling, that aspect, movies, you know, with Tay involved in the project, it kind of gives us another spectrum of reach. But at the same time, we want to keep it right. We want to like make sure that this is right, you know. So you know, like literally, it's just kind of putting it out there because we need people's interaction. You know, that's the thing. We need to see like what people think, how they can add.
What was the first children's book you ever read?
I am an illustrator by very first book. I've like 30 books in this repertoire of work. The first one that I illustrated was the Shack and the Beanstalk piece. Another Shack and the Beanstalk, another very tall tales. And anyway, yeah, that was the first. And then it's interesting because I never really called to be an illustrator for children's books. It just kind of like I stumbled into the space, and I'm glad. Because, you know, again, this connects me to children. I do get that opportunity to connect with children through this work. So, you know, it's yeah, I don't know why. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Before you do a Broadway show, you're going to do a Kansas City show?
Oh, yeah. Thank you so much for that. You know, like, this is one of the things. Like, I live here now. I live here. Now, like, you know, yeah, thank you. Thank you. Now, it's a blessing that, you know, the work that I'm doing is coming from publishers that are out in New York, but that's just a matter of just proximity, I guess, or whatever, where they choose to be. But I live here, you know, so I make sure that with my studio and other community organizations that we can reach out with the message of just like coming together and just enjoying it, you know. So yeah, we actually did a production at the library of Olu's Dream, the musical. We utilized the Kansas City Boys and Girls Choir. Incredible. We packed it out. It was great, man. It was just great. Great day of celebrating.
Can I ask you a question? I'm right in front of
Beth,
you.
what's
How
up?
you doing? I'm
All right.
good.
Good to see you.
Okay, so this last week at Big Kansas City, we were all inspired by a number of social entrepreneurs. Do you and your products have a social mission? I mean, like, does a portion of your proceeds go into a charitable cause?
I like that. Thank you so much. Yes, the answer is yes. I live, like, so to speak, my studio is across the street from a church. Pastor Alice, matter of fact, this book called Underground is dedicated to her service. She is really serving the needy, those who are lost. You know, when we did the event, we like took a portion of those dollars and gave them. If I'm working with other organizations like Change the Truth, I went to Uganda a couple years back. If we can break off something, we want to bless. Like as this thing grows, I don't need too much. I got like 3 computers. You know, seriously, I got 3 laptops. So like, I mean, at some point, you know, you got to give over. So that is like, we're working on, I think, the business model. You know, it's easy to get caught in the creative, but that we do need that. We need that like kind of business structure so we can keep it going that way.
Cool. And then the other thing is, in Kansas City, as I'm sure we all know, our school systems are hurting and have a lot of trauma that are happening in our neighborhoods, a lot of violence. Have you thought about creating storylines, narratives, illustrations that kind of speak to that initially, but also kind of drive home the hopeful message of resiliency and these other ideas?
Yes. When they figure out how to graft extra arms on my body, I'm going to be illustrating so many stories. I say that because I get people approaching me with stories, and I'm like inundated. Like it's a blessing for sure. And like, how do I, you know, I got some young brothers in the house. They got the chocolate meat shirts on, you know, so I'm bringing in other young artists because at some point, you know, I'm maximized, you know, as a person. And all the things that are needed towards reviving stories and letting people understand those things, that requires hands. That requires creative hands, you know, and people sharing those things that we need for those children. So it's an ongoing process, you know. And maybe in some ways you can kind of forge these chocolate me's or these dream stories around those issues, you know. That's where teachers come in, like yourself, to like really encourage through media to like inspire another child, you know.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
Where do you buy your books?
Books. I want to support local business. Reading Reptile, they have a beautiful section of authors and illustrators that live in town. Barnes & Noble, you know, the big guys, Amazon, all that stuff. Hey, come on down to the studio, 711 East 31st. I got books over there. I'll sign them for you personally, you know, all that good stuff. So wherever books are sold. Yes?
So since you're talking about storytelling and you've got your music going, can you talk about like how you're setting the mood of the room right now?
Yes.
How does this your telling the story?
Oh, give thanks for that. Well, music pierces. You know, I want to thank that brother right there with the scarf. He was like, la! And people were like, almost dropped their coffee, but what language is it, Italian? See, you know, then he's taking this into a romance language, right? And all the ladies were like, yeah. But the tone of this guitar, you know, it kind of like just pierces into that consciousness a little bit. It allows me a little bit of ease, too, to kind of like dance over the rhythm. And it just allows us to kind of focus, you know? Yeah, so, and then, you know, storytelling is natural. Like, who of us does not have a story? That brother that shared that he, like, was homeless, like, seriously, you open up your heart when you start telling your story. And that connects, you know? And that's really that's what business is. Story is business, business is story. You know, I'm a block down from where Disney started his operation. And a couple blocks down from where Hallmark started his operation. And so, you know, I think that's really what it's all about. Like, how many times can you share your story before someone, like, lifts you up, you know? And it's just, you know, these are just elements to do that and emphasize that. So thank you. Yes, sir.
What can we do to help you?
Thank you, first of all. Thank you. You know, those humble, like, you know, sometimes it can be hard to receive. So, you know, I say it like this. You share whatever gift you have, man, and we can figure out some way to work together. That's how I look at it. You know, that's really how I look at it. Like, if somebody were to, like, give me a piece of bread and I was like, get that bread out of my face, that would be dumb. Because I love bread. So yeah, I mean, honestly, you see something in here that speaks to you, you know, like speak to us, man. You know, you got John over there, you got Michael over there, Sean is somewhere around, and you got myself. Just come, man. Hand us a business card. I appreciate it. Yeah. I think, I don't know if there's your son, man. There's your son on the screen. I love that little dude. He's tremendous. Yeah, that's his sister right there. See, that's what it's all about, you know, like, this is family right here. You know, this is people working together to, like, raise children, to raise good families, man. Like, that's what this is about. Like, if you got a child, then you know what it means, right? I mean, you know what it means to, like, get past stuff. So, you know, like, we just got to chime together, man, and just be positive, man. This is really about love. This is about human beings. You know, looking into the soul, going deeper, you know, and you know, whoever you meet, man, just ask them something, man. Just ask them something. Yes, like that.
I've got a new title for you.
Go.
Clear Rap.
Say it again.
Clear Rap.
Clear Rap?
That's what you're doing.
That's
We're understanding you. That's fabulous.
Yo, this brother's knocking me off my feet with that bow tie. But I mean, like I said, if I would have visualized him naked, that would have been a whole different story. But I see him as the child he is, and I bet you that brother's got a dynamic story to share with you. You know, that's the thing. And so, like, we really got to just get to that place, man. You knock a lot of walls down, walking around it in silence and in prayer. That's really, I mean, that's it, you know. Live your dream like that, and that'll show the world. That'll show the world. So, I mean, you know.
Any final questions?
Any final questions? Yes. And maybe I'll have y'all sing.
Prentice said that way. He's trying. He's trying. He's running.
Oh, he's getting with it. He's getting with it. He's getting with it. Thank you.
So, first of all, Shane, thank you for being here.
Oh, thank you for having me.
My family has been blessed by your presence and the gifts that you've given us.
Give thanks.
My question to you, though, is, you know, during your time at Hallmark and now you've transitioned into Chocolate Me, that period in time between, you know, the one and the other, talk to us about that space and where you found the courage to step out and to start building this project and the things that came into play and, you know, all of that.
Wow. Some questions hit you to the core, right? Faith, however you define it, is a word that is action-based. When you step out in it, it's interesting because you become it. I was 28, working at a corporation, checking the mail every month, and I was like, I gotta go. I don't know why, but and it's funny, you know, I'll just tell you a funny story, because afterwards, it's funny. Right after I said that, I had a friend who was in Italy. She was getting married. She says, hey, does anybody want to come to Italy for a month and watch our house? I said, me! I left to Italy, was there for a month, came back. This was during like the .com thing. I got a job real quick, and then that thing burst. And then it's funny. Then Tay and I, we signed a record deal with MCA Records, which no longer exists. And Randy Jackson from American Idol, he was our A&R rep. So then I like did that for a year as I was still illustrating books. The blessings of the books were like there. So I never worried about, you know, anything. And I think it's that dynamic, that faith in like not worrying piece that really like got me through the times that, you know, most people would be like, I'm gonna bail, man. I'm gonna bail on this dream. This is too hard. So, you know, you just got to stay committed to it. Because there are times, you know, as entrepreneur, as individual, as human being, you know, that you stumble and fall. But if you can get back up, that says a lot. That says a lot. So, you know, I love the sweet inside. That's really what it's about, man. Yeah, that's what it's about. Maybe you should all sing this. Come on, seriously. I love the sweet inside. Come on, you got this, you got this. Come on. I love the sweet inside. Man, it sounds good. Keep it going. I love the sweet inside. You guys, somebody can harmonize. Come on, bring it loud. Come on. You gotta keep it up. Come on, one more time. This is excellent. Come on, keep it going one more time. I love the sweet inside. One more time, just one, come on.
Oh, okay, well, wow, what a week. Next week, don't forget, big week next week, 1 year anniversary. Tell everybody you know. We're gonna blow it out. We're so blessed that you're here. Please, 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 be sure to thank Kaufman. Be sure to talk to Shane afterwards, and just all the entrepreneurs in the room. If you're interested in actually presenting, go to 1millioncups.com, fill out the form. We actually are pretty booked out. So even if you're thinking about, hey, I want to present maybe this summer, don't wait till this summer, because I think we're booked almost through June with entrepreneurs. In Kansas City, there's that many entrepreneurs. It's awesome. All right, thank you guys, and have a great week.
Hey, George, I'm sorry. I'm gonna randomly give out a book, so I'm just gonna choose, because I didn't get time to so I'm just gonna choose a couple people. So I'm just gonna come up to you and give you a book.